back to my channel. My name is Wiganya and today we're making the mighty high cheese souffle. And I know most people are very intimidated by making a cheese souffle, but it's actually extremely simple. There are 3 simple steps to make sure that your souffle turns out perfectly. So let's start off. Preheat your oven to 200 degrees Celsius on bake. Get yourself a pan and just get a medium heat on that. And what we're going to do in there is add a bit of butter. About 25 grams of butter. Let's go 50 grams of butter, and we're going to make a white sauce. Now white sauce consists out of butter, flour and milk. Before that we make a roux, which is butter and flour, but we'll get to it. Now you need 2 ramekins for this. I'm going to line my ramekins up with a bit of butter just to make sure that souffle doesn't really stick or burn the sides of the ramekin. And then what you want to do is, I have a tiny bit of parmesan here. We're making a parmesan cheese souffle. So I have a bit of parmesan here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shake that into the ramekin and just make sure that it lines up with the butter. The butter is going to hold that parmesan. So it's a tiny bit grated, and look at that. That is gorgeous. So you can hear that our butter is melting. Grab a wooden spoon and just give that a bit of a stir. Now once all the butter is melted, we're going to go ahead and add the same amount of flour into our butter. Get that on a low heat. Now this is called a roux. This is the first. So I'm going to go 2 tablespoons. That should be the same amount of butter to that. And you just give that a light stir. So this is step 1, actually making the white sauce. There's 3 steps to a white sauce. This is called the white step, and then you have a blonde, and then you can have a brown roux. So we want this to be slightly brown. I think there's more flavor. It tastes a bit nuttier when it's a bit browner. So I have milk that I warmed up in the microwave for about a minute, and we're going to add that into our roux to make the white sauce. And after that we add the cheese and we add the eggs for the souffle. So now while that is slowly turning into a brown roux, I'm going to go ahead and separate my eggs. So you want to crack your eggs. A very easy way to separate your eggs is just use the eggshells. You don't need expensive equipment to do this. So I want the whites in one bowl. You put the whites. Put your egg yolks into another bowl. I'm going to use 3 egg whites rather, and I'm only going to use about a yolk and a half for this. You can already smell that your roux is ready. It's like a nice brown color. That is beautiful, and it smells like nuts, which is amazing. So your warm milk goes in there. Add a little bit. So after this you can move on from your wooden spoon and use a whisk just to make sure that you get a smoother white sauce. Just like that. I will say, if you're not doing a parmesan souffle or a cheese souffle, you can use anything. You can use Gruyere cheese, you can use tasty cheese if you really want to, you can use blue cheese, you could use any type of cheese for this. I'm using parmesan. And if you want to, you can also add a savory ingredient. So you can add vegetables, you can add mushrooms, you can add spinach, you could add anything into it. Chicken, you can add meat. But I will say that if you add meat or any kind of vegetables that are heavier, then the cheese souffle is less likely to rise. Look at that. It's already thickening up nicely, but we want to get it slightly thicker. Okay, so stage 2, we are onto our eggs. And these are my egg whites that I'm just going to whisk until they are at a stiff peak. So it's going to take a while. If you have an electric blender, then use that. If you don't, then go manual. A bit of arm exercise. It's actually tested. Turn it around, it doesn't fall. So that is perfect. Now that is done. Our sauce is almost done. all we're gonna do is we're gonna add our Parmesan cheese in there and create a cheese sauce. So we'll go ahead and add that. Just mix it, make sure that it melts. That looks thick and gorgeous. Once your cheese is melted, what you want to do is, remember those yolks that we used? You go ahead and add 1 yolk in there. Turn that off and just mix your yolk in there. Oh, that is the smoothest and thickest cheese sauce. Looks beautiful. So this is step 3 of our cheese souffle. I've taken the white sauce out of the hot pot and just put it into a little dish to cool it down. Make sure it's slightly cooler. Now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to add, to start off with, just a little bit of egg white in there, and I'm going to fold it in. Okay, so just go ahead and fold a little bit in there just to make sure that the egg white is incorporated into your sauce. And if it's too hot, then you can tell when the egg white doesn't fold in. So look at that, it's just air and egg whites, so that's what keeps it nice and fluffy. So just lightly with a spatula, you can't really use anything else with this, fold your egg white into the cheese sauce. Now I will say, if you want to add spinach or anything savory, if you want to add meat, if you want to add smoked chicken, anything that you add in here has to be pre-cooked, so make sure everything is cooked. And you add it at the stage of when you add your egg yolks. So before you fold in your egg whites, add all your savory ingredients if you want to. We don't want to mess around with that too much. Grab your 2 ramekins that you lined up with butter and grated cheese, and we're going to go ahead and scoop it in there. Yeah, make sure it's at least 3/4 of the way in. Yeah, it looks like little clouds. It's just magnificent. So light, so fluffy. We're done in not even 15 minutes. So that goes into our oven for 20 minutes. It's on bake, and then we'll see how it turns out later. Now remember, do not at any moment open your oven, because the heat will escape and it will prevent your soufflés from rising. So keep it in there for 20 minutes. Okay, so this is 20 minutes later. Our soufflé should be ready. Let's have a look and see how it looks like. It's nicely brown on top and it's risen quite a bit. So you need to take it out and serve it out immediately, because there's no time to waste with this. It is going to go back down, so it might collapse a little bit. Don't worry about that. It's still going to taste amazing. It's still going to look amazing. So let's do this. Oh my god, look at that. Oh, that crusty sound. Look at that fluffy egg. That is just beautiful. That's what you want. It's good for breakfast, good for dinner. Do bigger portions if you're going to do dinner, and just enjoy it. Not hot? It's not hot. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was so easy, and I hope that you guys try it out at home. Let me know what you want to see next. Like and subscribe my channel, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon.
No, it's going to be too hot. Don't do that. You're just going to burn yourself.